Well, Deep Thoughts with Jackie continues. Who knew blondes could think like this? So as you can tell by the title, that I have dogs that are jumping on me. Um, and Anyway, the title is Success. What is it and how do we measure it? And I think about this periodically because, in life, and when you're in sales, a lot of times you feel like, okay, what's my goal, and what do I have to achieve this year? And of course you have to budget and all this stuff, but I catch myself sometimes thinking like, oh, well, so and so, they're sold this much and they did this, and they just, they have all these clients and they got all this cool advertising, or I'm gonna sell, I sold 9 million this year, I'm gonna sell 10 million next year, and I catch myself going, oh no, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe I didn't sell enough, oh, what am I gonna do? Like, and like in real estate, it's like, Julie, in real estate, it's like, we can't just pick people out of the hat and like have them buy real estate, right? So we never know what our year is going to be like. And of course we can always like hope and imagine, but this whole training of prospecting and get this many buyers and this many people and stuff, that doesn't really work very well for me personally. So I asked myself, like, how am I successful, and what's my measure of success? And I know when I was younger, it was like to be pretty and to be skinny and to be desired and to like be a model and an actress and go to school, and now I'm successful. And then if I get a job and I make a lot of money, I'm successful. And if I have a car, I'm successful. And if I have cool clothes, I'm successful. And so there's just all these things that, of course, that those things are success, of course. But I catch myself getting insecure sometimes, like, maybe I'm not successful. Maybe I should sell more. Maybe I should do, do stuff, do more. Maybe I need to do more. And then I kind of have to dial down and get myself, okay, calm down, Jackie. You can only do what you can do. And one of the things that came to my mind is when I would go to minister to the ladies in the jail, if you've never really known people that went through hard times or did some desperate stuff and got themselves in a bind, the ladies in the jail, I like it how my pastor put it. She says, desperate people do desperate things. And so one of the things that came so clearly to me when, as I was processing to encourage these ladies, is it became so clear that our ideas of success are so skewed a lot of the times by society and by just what our family, friends, society says about us. And so what became clear to me is you're successful if you work hard and you try and you love your family, and maybe you still have to take a bus, but you pay your bills and you're not going into debt buying designer clothes and spending money beyond your means, but you're taking care of your kids and you're paying your bills. That's successful. That's success. And it became very clear because so often, I know it's like we want that better car, those better clothes, or we feel like we need to fit in, or we're not good enough if we don't have it. And it's like, no, just be responsible and you're successful. Love your family and you're successful. Take care of those around you or those that you work with or work for, and be kind, and now you're successful. Of course we all want to make more money and obtain dreams and travel or whatever these things are in our hearts. But if you're going into crazy debt, or if you're beautiful and you're sleeping around and you never can have a meaningful relationship, you're not very successful. You might seem successful in your ability to gain attention and be an object of desire, but is that success really in the end, to be alone and just be used? And yeah, you were successful in what you were trying to obtain, but what was the means? So sometimes I'm like, well, maybe I won't make as much money, but maybe I'm more successful. Maybe this year I won't make as much money, but I'll spend more time with my kids and my family, and I'll take better care of my health, and this year, I don't know if I'll work less. Oh, there we go. Hey, Zoe. No, hey. Yes, this is my doghouse here. And the neighbor's dogs like try to come and instigate, and then we go, it's crazy. But so I'm just thinking about all those things, because even as realtors, so what? What if you don't sell 9 million? What if you don't sell 3 million? What if you sell 4 million? Did you give it all you had? Did you try your best to be honest and straightforward with people, or were they all a target? And, you know, like, ooh, maybe they could be a client. Ooh, is everybody a prospect? You know, or is everybody a person that you're going to relate to and care for? And then they happen to find out you're a realtor and they go, wow, you're a really kind, caring person. I'd like to use you. I'd like to tell my family about you. I mean, of course my faith has something to do with it, and you guys hopefully you don't get tired of hearing it, because this is the truth. You know, when I wasn't a Christian, I just talked the way I talked, and now I talk the way I talk. But the thing is, people are people to me, and if I take care of them, then I'm blessing God and I'm blessing them, and then if money comes, that's great. You know, so my success is based off of how well did I love? How well did I care for those that came into my life? That whether it was through work or at the grocery store, or you know, like sometimes people like drop stuff in the store, like they'll knock stuff over and you go help them, picking up those boxes that fell off the shelf that people just walk by. I feel successful. And is it a monetary thing? Is it based on my weight? Nothing's in there. Is it based on my weight? Is it based on my car? And that's your call. But I think ultimately when we evaluate our success, I liked it. It was said once by someone I really respect, one of the gals that I love. She's a great singer and worshiper. She says, it's all about love. And we've heard that, whether you're a Christian or New Age or just a person that says, you know, we just really need to learn to be kind and, you know, random acts of kindness, even though they're not really random. But anyway, you know, random acts of kindness and just be kind. And then we're successful because we have good relationships or we have love. Well, then we have to define what love is. How are we successful in love? And is it through compassion? Is it, you know, love nowadays it's thrown around. And I love my understanding of love at this point in my life. It's sacrificial. I don't do something for somebody or to somebody to be recognized by them or anybody else. I'm successful then. I don't love them because they were nice to me, or they're going to give me something in return. Oftentimes I'm not acknowledged. Sometimes I'm not thanked, but my heart is full because it was only out of you know, it's a selfless thing. It's not about me. If I bless them and I help them, whether they acknowledge it or not, thank me or not, anybody knows about it or not, it doesn't matter, because it's just the joy of loving freely and not expecting anything in return. And when it's returned, great. It's very cool, especially when people love you back. But once again, there's no strings attached in this type of success. So I can always be successful because every day, if I'm kind or I'm generous, or I'm just being aware of loving those around me, my family, my friends, my neighbors, just helping people whenever I see a need, or praying with people whenever there's an opportunity, then we're successful. So yes, strive to do your best, work hard, get training, and be educated. But you know, heck, if you can't afford to go to school right now and you have to work a minimum wage job, then you know what? You're successful. Work it. Work faithfully and be unlike others. Don't wait to be told to, you know, mop the floor over there because it was somebody else's job. If they're not doing it and it needs to be done, do it. And be happy about it, whether anyone acknowledges you or not, because I guarantee you in time, if you're willing to be a servant and you're willing to just do what's done and go above and beyond without being told, you're successful. Even if you're not acknowledged, you're successful. And I have no doubt that if we live like that, it'll be seen and we will be promoted. We will be recruited. We will be appreciated. And there will be a day when that inward success of our heart, that love and that way of living will be outwardly seen, possibly by others around us. I mean, and there's a guy at our church, Albert, he worked faithfully for 10 years, just joyful that he had a job. He came out of a really hard life and joyful he had a job, and they promoted him after a long time. And I thought, man, so many people I know would be like, they didn't promote me, I deserve more, you should pay me now, I don't. And he wasn't grumbling. I never heard him grumble in the 7 years I knew him. And they took him and they promoted him, and he never just demanded it. There was some of the most successful people I know are some of the most poor, humble, like barely have anything people I know. One of my good friends, she lives in like the really, really low income part of town. The house is small. It's not in the best condition. But this person has a master's degree. They're brilliant, and they can make a lot of money, but they choose to live simply and homeschool their children, and their children are brilliant, and they're being recognized academically and all, you know, and they have nothing. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so you know, people think I'm successful. Jackie, you're so nosy. Yeah, but that's success to me. Another lady I know, she's a single mom, lived in the homeless shelter 2 years, worked full time, went to school full time. Her kids would have to like stay awake and ride the bus at 11 o'clock at night and go to movies just to have some place to go because she was living in a shelter and they wouldn't let them stay there. And she didn't grumble. She was always joyful and kind and generous, and she didn't even have a car. Like, that's success. And now she has a home and a car, and these things are coming into her life. But she never grumbled. And I was like, you're more successful than I am, and you have nothing. So anyway, it's just a perspective, my perspective, that's on my heart about, and I'm encouraging myself. And so I'm hoping like this encouragement that I give myself will help others to say, you know what, maybe I'm not making thousands and thousands of dollars, and maybe I don't have a bigger home, or I don't have nice clothes, and I'm, you know, not the prettiest and whatever, but I'm really more successful than I thought. And maybe some of us that think we got it all together, like I look really successful, but, and I'm not saying this to be falsely humble, but you know, I'm all over the place. And I hope to be more aware in my relationships and more successful in those areas, because this outward success that I'm having is awesome, but I'm recognizing I need to find a better balance to have a greater success in my family relationships and the relationships with people in my life. So anyway, hopefully I encourage myself, and I encourage you too. And that's so amazing. Like, my kids are playing and my dogs didn't even freak out. See? Amazing. It must have been meant to be.